Now, the countdown has begun for the biggest day on the nation's economic calendar. That's as we all brace ourselves for what Minister Godongwana has to say in his annual budget speech tomorrow in Cape Town. Experts have warned against high hopes regarding tax relief, as such is highly unlikely. Economist at RMB Siobhan Redford joins us for a preview of the 2024 national budget speech. Thank you so much for your time, Siobhan. The last 2 years, it feels like a veil has been put over our eyes. Are we now having to deal with the real issue and the real issue of low economic growth to actually support the budget significantly, since incomes are not as great as we had for the last 2 years?
It is definitely one of the major concerns. We were very lucky that we had a good boost to our revenue collection through company income tax over the past 2 years, given higher commodity prices. But yes, that has now come off, and so our company income tax has fallen, and we are relying on personal income tax collection, which is rising. But it's about relative paces. Economics is all about relative kind of movements here, and the problem is revenue is not growing at the same pace as expenditure.
In your view, how has government fared in its fiscal consolidation effort? Would you say that in terms of expenditure, Treasury has been somewhat disciplined?
I think they have tried, but I really can't say that there has been as much discipline as we would like. And, it's really, it is one of those difficult positions to be in. You've got a never-ending laundry list of demands on a limited kind of pot to dollar out, and it's about how to prioritize these things, and everything is urgent. So it really is. It is very difficult. I think that they do have to stand strong on some of the more current expenditure line items to try and reduce the pace at which, say, for example, your wages are increasing. That is having quite a big impact, obviously, on the pace of the increase in expenditure, with the government being a very large employer for the country. But also, there's some issues like your social expenditure, which is very high, about 60% of total expenditure. And really what they need to do is persuade, their counterparts across government that we need to invest in, business-friendly kind of reform where we can encourage more investment, and hopefully that would mean greater growth in your employment, and hence more people contributing to your personal income tax kind of pool, and fewer actually having to withdraw from your social support.
Yeah, that's the thing also, because with this fiscal consolidation, the focus is really on cutting expenditure rather than income. How sustainable is that, and does that not lend then to basic services not being met, and even lending to lower economic growth?
Obviously we don't want expenditure to grow as fast as it is, particularly given where it's coming from. The way we're seeing that expenditure going is not growth enhancing. Where that growth in expenditure is not growth enhancing, it's interest rates, it's wages, it's your social wage. These are necessary. We need the government employees. You can only cut your kind of your employees by so much before you actually start not being able to provide the services you have. So it's really about kind of having this compact between your government employees and government itself, that there has to be a reasonable kind of expectation, given what the constraints are, looking at what wage increases are in the private sector. They're not near as rapid as we've seen, say, in the public sector by and large. So it's really, it's not even necessarily about cutting of the expenditure, it's where that expenditure is going. If we were spending it more on productive stuff, on capital expenditures, sorting out our roads, sorting out our ports, schools, education opportunities in the country, creating the kind of labor force that there is demand for, as well as expanding, creating opportunities for businesses to invest. then it's a different story, because then it means that you're going to realize tax that's going to make up for that expenditure. So it's really about, balancing these. And right now we're struggling to bring that revenue in. And, you can suggest increasing any number of taxes, but, there's a very limited pool from which to get these, and a very constrained consumer in this country, and households and employees. And expenditure which just continues to increase, and interest costs are high and rising.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. We have run out of time, Siobhan. Thank you so much for that preview. Of course, things will be clearer tomorrow afternoon. That was Economist at RMB, Siobhan Redford.